Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe. Jaya Panchatattva 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 Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Saki Vrinda ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Haribo. Hare Krishna. So let's share the screen. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we are reading the chapter 22, the process of devotion service. Madhya Leela, chapter 22, the process of devotion service. So we have done up to 50. So we will see the rest. It's a big chapter, but some important verses we will be reading today. Let's go to the recite one verse. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse 50. Yadrishaya matkatado jatu shaddastu yapuman na nirvinna nati shakto bhakti yogo asya siddhidaha. Edrichaya matkatado jata shaddastu yapuman na nirvinno nati shakto bhakti yogo asya siddhida. Yadrichaya matkatado jata shaddastu yapuman na nirvinno nati shakto bhakti yogo asya siddhida. Anyone would like to repeat?
Can I read, Mataji?
Please, yeah. Please, Mataji.
Chaya matkadhato Jata Shraddhastuya Puman Nanirvinno Natishakto Asya Siddhidaha.
Haribol. Thank you, Mata. So anyone else?
Yadrachaya matkatado jata shraddhastu yapuman nanirvinno natishakto bhakti yoga asya siddhidaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Okay, one more devotee. Any Prabhus? Okay, any Matajis?
Mataji, shall I try, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Sorry if I do any wrong.
No problem. Please carry on.
Yadrachaya matkaratado jata shraddhastu yapuman nani vernanno nati sakto bhakti yogosya siddhida.
Jai, wonderful. It would be nice also Prabhus to come forward and read. Generally, you see in the temples, in fact, the opportunity goes first to the Prabhus. So it'll be very nice if any Prabhu can read, if you are available today.
Mate, shall I try?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yes.
please, Prabhu.
Yadrakshaya matkathado jata shraddhastu yapuman nanirvino nati sakto bhakti yoga siddhida.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jai. Okay. Yadrishaya, but by some good fortune, mat kata ado, in talk about me. Jata Shraddha is awakeness attraction, too bad. Yet Puman, a person who, na nirvinaha, not falsely detached, na atishaktaha, not very much attached to material existence. Bhakti yoga, the process of devotion service, asya, for such a person, siddhidaha, bestowing perfection. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotion service. So Krishna is telling us how that one can actually awaken our love for him. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We all love him. But because we have forgotten him and we are lost in this material world, so how we can reconnect back to the Lord? So the Lord is giving us this tips here that if somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me, hearing about him with faith, and having the faith in the instructions which he has given in the Bhagavad Gita, and he's neither falsely detached from material things, not very much attracted to material existence. So that means it is like using, Srila Prabhupada mentions, using everything in the service of the Lord. That is the proper determination. Not that falsely I am giving up this, I'm giving up that. But we have to give up what is unfavorable. But all other material things, which so-called things, can be that which can be used in the service of the Lord, can be used in the service. In that way, one can awaken love for the Lord. Like, for example, wealth as such can be something material, but if the wealth is utilized in the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees, then that is considered a proper use of wealth. So similarly, there are many things like that. It may externally look material, but when it is engaged in the service of the Lord, in a proper spirit of service, then that becomes devotion service. So it's not that Krishna is asking us to give up, okay, give up family life, give up this, give up that. No, he's not telling like that. Rather, Krishna is telling how we can engage everything in his service. In that way, one can actually reconnect back to him. So that is the essence. So let's see. It's a very, very, in the few next verses, we will see the importance of the mercy of the devotees. Constantly, we see all over the scriptures. This is a point constantly emphasized. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. So it is said that how important is to be favored by a pure devotee of the Lord. It is not just for the devotional service. Even if one want to give up all this unwanted bondages in this world, one has to, get the mercy of a pure devotee. Without pure devotee's mercy, one cannot achieve anything in this world. That is what is mentioned here. And we see a lot of examples. So let's see here. King Raghuguna, as you know, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we know this very famous personality called Bharata Maharaj. So Bharata Maharaj, as we all know, how he became a deer in his next life. And in the following life, he became Jada Bharata. And he became very fixed, in his consciousness that he didn't want to take another chance. He was thinking of all that mistakes he has done in his previous lives. And he was very, very careful. And he was leading a life, such an exemplary life, that he want to focus only on the pure devotional service. So we see that when Jada Bharata, he was there, that time the emperor, the king, the king was that time King Rahugana, and the king was actually carried by his guards, in a palanquin. But the palanquin is carried normally by 4 people, isn't it? So they were carrying, but one person was missing. So they were looking for one more person who is fit enough to carry him. So they looked around and they saw a person who looked very fit and healthy. And that was Jada Bharata. So they called Jada Bharata to carry the palanquin, and Jada Bharata was carrying the palanquin. But because he was a very pure devotee, he was not able to go walk straight. He was seeing the ants and insects on the path. So he was zigzag walking here and there, like that, and he was carrying the palanquin. So the king got very annoyed because there was a jerk here and there. So he was not feeling very comfortable. And then he was, simply abusing, who is this fat person who is carrying me, not able to, even carry properly. So he was using all ill words. But then, Jada Bharata was least bothered. He was said, I am not a fat, I am not thin, I am a spirit soul. And he spoke such a high philosophy that opened the eyes of King Raghugana. Because he was completely talking in a material platform. His ego got hurt. But here is a personality who is talking such a higher spiritual science. And he understood that I am talking to someone, who is a very great personality. Then he came down and he bowed down at his feet and offered obeisances, and he asked him to instruct on the science of devotion service. So here it is mentioned. So King Raghugana, it is mentioned here, O King Raghugana. So Jada Bharata is telling, that is Bharata Maharaj who became Jada Bharata, he is giving. Without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances. Very important verse for all of us. Very, very important verse. How one can attain pure devotion? We are all trying to attain pure devotion service, right? Render pure devotion service to the Lord. It is mentioned. We cannot get into the platform of pure devotion service just by taking up some severe austerities and penance. Okay, I will take up this vow. I will do, I will take up this austerity. It is not just a voluntary discomfort for the body. Taking some activity will help us to achieve that. No, not by gorgeously worshipping the deity also, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyasa or grihastha order. Oh, I'm doing my duties all perfectly as per the scriptures. I'm a grihastha, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to give charity, I have to be like this, I have to look after my kids nicely, this, that, everything. Okay, it's all fine. But even by that, one cannot attain, devotional service. Nor is it attained by studying the Vedas. Oh, I know all the 4 Vedas, 18 Upanishads, not by that one can attain devotion service to the Lord. Submerging oneself in water, doing all these mystic things, exposing oneself to fire, scorching sunlight, neither of things will attract the Lord. Neither of any of these things. A very important verse. What is the only thing which can actually help us to achieve that thing is that taking the dust from a pure devotee. That only can, help us to achieve that platform of pure devotion service. How important is to take shelter of a pure devotee. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the acharyas in the Vaishnava Acharya song, we see that so much of glorification about Vaishnava Thakur and serving the Vaishnavas is given. Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula Bhakata Seva Paramasedi Premelati Karamula. It's mentioned that Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, the dust of a pure devotee. Paramanu is fully favorable for devotional service. So only by the dust of a pure devotee's mercy that one can actually achieve the ultimate goal of life. See, even if one may be a most fallen conditioned soul, but the blessings of a pure devotee can elevate us. So it is a great hope for all of us. And Krishna is giving, and all the scriptures, the Vaishnavacha, Guru, Sadhu, Sastra, everyone is declaring to take shelter of the dust of a pure devotee. So that's what we see here. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. So that is the power of all the Vaishnavas. That's why, many Srila Prabhupada disciples, they express so much of their gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, that we are not qualified at all in any ways. We have been living a life where we are breaking all the 4 regulative principles. But just by your mercy, taking shelter of your lotus feet, our lives have completely got, purified. And we see in scriptures also so many personalities who are not qualified, but just because they got the glance of a pure devotee or the dust of a pure devotee, their life got, completely changed. So that's the, power of the pure devotees. Not by austerities, one can touch the Lord's heart. Only when we go through a devotee, when we are submissive to a devotee, then Krishna, we can attract the attention of Krishna. Because in all the other things, whether gorgeously worshipping a deity, reading scriptures, giving charity, fulfilling duties of a grahasa, sannyas, order, or performing various mystic things, in all of these things, it is we keeping ourselves in the center. It is my effort, I am achieving it. But Krishna is not satisfied with that kind of a thing. Krishna wants to show us that by your own effort, you cannot achieve. You become first submissive to someone who is my devotee. Then I will, turn my, glance towards you. So that's the point. So without submitting ourselves, without we becoming humbling ourselves, one cannot actually, get that mercy of the Lord. That's why humility is also highly stressed. Because unless one is humble, one cannot submit or one cannot take the dust of a pure devotee. If someone thinks, I know everything, I am great, I do not have to take anyone's shelter, how do we take dust from someone? It's not possible. So unless someone is humble, one will not be able to take the dust of a devotee. So we see in Chaitanya Leela, there is a time that one time in Srivas Thakur's house, in Srivas Thakur, Hare Krishna. Okay, in Srivas Thakur's house, we know that, special Sankirtan happens, right? The Sankirtan which is happening in Srivas Thakur's house is a super special Sankirtan, which is called Prema Sankirtan. Only confidential devotees are allowed there. And devotees who are fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga are, allowed inside. And pure devotees, basically. But you know what happened one time? There was one sadhu, he wanted to go and see the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was keep on requesting Srivas Thakur, please, please allow me. I am very austere. I only drink milk, nothing else I take. And I sincerely, I'm very, very strict in following everything. I don't even eat anything. I'm very austere. And he was keep on begging. And so Srivas Thakur said, okay, you can see, generally not everyone is allowed, but because you are so much this thing you are requesting, and of course you're only, following, taking milk and following all the austerities. Okay, I will allow you, but you, stay behind and, you can watch. So when that day Mahaprabhu was dancing, he said afterwards that I'm not feeling that ecstasy. Someone is here who should not be here is here. Who is that? And then Srivas Thakur is later, revealing to the Lord that, I there was one person who was requesting me, so I allowed him. He's only taking milk. You know what Mahaprabhu said? Just by drinking milk, you think you can, get all the mercy? Just drinking milk, or just following some severe austerities, or just, fasting so, severely, and that cannot actually, attract the attention of the Lord. Yes, these are all good, but that's not the main factor to attract the attention of the Lord, because he's still proud, that, I follow all the austerities, so the Lord said, no, he has to go out. So he came out. After coming out, he realized, he felt bad. Oh, see, I don't even deserve, but, the Lord is so merciful. He allowed me, at least for a little moment, I could be there inside the association of all the devotees, and I could see Lord Chaitanya dancing. I'm not worthy enough, but yet I got this opportunity. So when he became humble, the Lord sitting in the heart as Paramatma, can understand. And then, so he again instructed Srivas Thakur, go and call him again. So this is the point. So not just, I know everything, I am good in this, I am, I am expert in Vedic scriptures. None of these things actually pleases the Lord. Only when someone thinks that I don't deserve any mercy, I only dependent on the mercy of the Vaishnavas, mercy of the pure devotees, I have any hope in my life. When one genuinely in the heart feels that all the time, that person is a fit candidate, to, go back to Godhead, because by the mercy of the pure devotee, he will be able to surpass all the obstacles in his devotional life and will be able to attain the, pure devotional service. So that is the point mentioned. So something which we all can aspire for, and we can work towards that, how we can take shelter of the devotees, how we can get into that mood that really speaking, we are not qualified. How many mistakes, offenses we are constantly making. Whatever we have so far received is also, it is totally costless mercy of the Vaishnavas and devotees. So how much we should be grateful, thankful, always remembering their lotus feet, and how we can serve them, and how we can grab more and more mercy, opportunity to serve them. And if we constantly can think on that line, then there is a greater opportunity for us to advance in our devotional life. So that's what is very much highlighted here. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. This is a very famous verse we know. Sadhu Sangha, Sharva Sasra hoy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hoy. Lava Matra, lava means 1/11th of a second. Just imagine, lava is, the calculation of a 1 lava means 1 lava is 1/11th of a second. Second itself is such a, very, sounds very insignificant. What is speak about 1/11th of a second? Even that momentary association of a pure devotee, if one is able to get in his life, that can actually transform his life. And that is the power. That is the potency of a pure devotee. That's why you see all Prabhupada disciples are so much attached to Srila Prabhupada. And they were always glued to his instructions, wanting to always please him. So this is the, and we see their lives, amazing examples. Even today we see Srila Prabhupada's disciples. They are now, in their early 70s, some are in the middle 70s and late 70s, in their age. But even in that age, with a lot of challenges physically, they are all over the world traveling. And they are so determined, to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to fulfill the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Such a determination and such a compassion, such a deep love for the spiritual master. So we see, it's practically we see in our own eyes. Not that we have to see only from Srimad Bhagavatam and various scriptures, but in our own eyes, we could witness all these things, the power of the pure devotee. So following their example, if we understand the essence of the scriptures, that finally the shelter is not even the Supreme Lord, because even the Supreme Lord shelter one can get only by taking shelter of a Guru and Vaishnavas, devotees. So finally it is boiling down, taking shelter of the devotees. So that means when we are in a community of devotees, how important for us to respect each other, care for each other, genuinely, not falsely. Because in material world, only all false things happens. A false smile, false words. People just externally smile, externally do many things just to make the other person, to keep in the good books of the other person in the material world. But in spiritual life, we do not have to do any of these things. We need to have to be genuinely caring for each other, genuinely, praying for each other. And also our words, our thoughts, words and actions are in line in dealing with the Vaishnavas. And we have to give up all those false things, that is not going to work, in a relationship, in a Vaishnava relationships. So how important for us to develop all those attributes, being straightforward, being very truthful in dealings, and then genuine, and being very sincere is something very, very important. And give up all those false kind of relationship, and being, being truthful in whatever we do. And if we do that, and definitely we can, draw the attention of Krishna so much. That's the only shortcut. So all the scriptures are giving us this essence. So the value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets or liberation from matter, and what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. So it is said that one side you are keeping, say that is association of devotees. We cannot even compare. They are saying even attainment of heavenly planets, which are, very much desired by many personalities, because in heavenly planets there is no, there is death, there is, other things, but compared to all other places, the enjoyment is more there, So everyone is looking for that heavenly enjoyment. Even in this material world, we look for those kind of comfortable and all the kind of life. But even in another side, if you take a, this thing, scale, and one side you keep the value of a moment association of a devotee, and the other side you keep attainment of heavenly planets, liberation, and liberation from matter means mukti, completely, ending the cycle of birth and death, and even material prosperity. Nothing can be compared to this. The scale is always high. It's always very heavy in the side of the association of pure devotee. We cannot compare it to anything in this material world. Such is the potency of a pure devotee. So that's what Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given protection to the whole world. So we see that Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna is looks like, externally seeing, we see that he's only speaking to Arjuna. But all this instruction, whatever the Lord has given to Arjuna, is for the entire humanity. So through speaking through Arjuna, speaking to Arjuna, Krishna has actually given us protection for the whole world. He's giving us all the instructions, guidance that is required to lead a life in this material world. So Krishna is protecting us through his instructions. So confidential knowledge, Krishna is in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving this confidential knowledge. And what is that? Because you are my friend, I am speaking to you the supreme confidential knowledge. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this. So Krishna is giving this confidential, open, it is like an open secret. Krishna is telling. What is that? What is the instruction he is telling us to follow? Always think of me. Krishna is telling us to remember him all the time and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage, obeisances, and thus you will come to me without fail. And simple thing, Krishna is not telling us, okay, go to the forest, sit down there and, perform austerity for this many years. As he has said anything like that? No. Krishna, oh no, okay, go and learn complete all the Vedic scriptures, finish all the 4 Puranas, 108 Upanishad scriptures, Itihasas. He has not said that. He has not said any of these things. He has only said, always think of me and become my devotee. Simple thing, worshipping me. Offer your obeisances. These are all the very simple things which Krishna has given. And what he's telling at the end, I am promising you. This is not a promise of some normal people. Sometimes people promise and can't keep. Especially in Kali Yuga, keeping the promise is very difficult. Because Kali Yuga, one thing is we are easily forget things. Forgetful by nature. It's very difficult for us to even remember what happened yesterday or a few days back, and very difficult to keep up the promise. And you see that even big promises like, a husband and wife, they actually make a promise in front of the fire that I will. The husband makes a promise, I will protect you. And then they both make a promise that lifelong we will be together. Doesn't matter, what other things comes. We will work out and then live together. That promise gets broken many times. And then we see many promises easily gets broken. But here, because they are all conditioned souls, and conditioned soul to err is human. But here, Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. And if he is giving a promise, that means that promise is certainly true. Certainly true. And that's why Krishna also, tells Arjuna, you make the promise. Because people sometimes, when I make promise, when I tell, they don't believe me because they think that, I may break it. But when I see that my devotee is making a word, is giving a word, then surely I will protect that word. So that's why he's telling to Arjuna, Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhaktya pranashati. Oh, my dear Arjuna, declare to the whole world that my devotee never perishes. So if these words are coming from Arjuna, then Arjuna is my dear friend. So Krishna knows that Arjuna's word, Krishna will protect. So at least people will have that confidence. So surely when we follow the instructions of Krishna, our life will, certainly transform. And it is very possible. By always chanting Krishna, how we can remember Krishna? We have all responsibilities, family responsibilities, everything is there. Yes, it is always there. We are keeping him in the center, connecting to him and doing everything. Oh, Krishna, thank you for giving such a wonderful, wife. Thank you for giving me a wonderful husband. Thank you for giving me a wonderful son or a daughter or a family or a sister or a brother or whatever, or a friend. Thank you for giving me this. Thank you for giving me this. So every moment we can be grateful. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for giving me all this wonderful community of association. So if we are grateful every moment, then we can easily connect to him. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is the greatest way of remembering Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today's auspicious Ekadasi, like remembering. And these days are very, very dear to the Lord. And these are the days where we can remember more about him, hear about him, talk about him, serve him, So all these ways we can very easily, and these are simple things. Even a child can take part. That is the power of Bhakti Yoga. Even a child can take part, in the service. The child can come and offer a rose, can do simple services in that way, and child can easily chant the holy name. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is so powerful. Even a child in the womb of a mother can perform devotional service by hearing. After certain, we see that after 6 or 7 months, the child is very conscious and is able to hear, and that's why their mother is said to follow certain regulations, and the mother should be in a very happy mood, reciting scriptures, reading scriptures, keeping in the mood very sober and spiritual. And very much the child takes. We see the Prahlad Maharaj was listening. Narada Muni was giving instruction to Mother Kayatu, and Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, and he was hearing the instruction of Narada Muni. So even though he was a demon's son, but when he came out, he was a Mahabhagavat, just by listening to Narada Muni in the womb of his mother. So how powerful that even a child in the mother's womb can, perform devotional service, can become purified. That is the power of pure devotional service. That is the power of Bhakti Yoga. No other yoga systems, a baby in the womb can do. Only Bhakti Yoga is possible. That's why it is considered as the topmost. So every one of us can do. Chant the holy name, follow Ekadasi, and hear about the Lord, render whatever devotion service we can do for the Lord, and always be in the association of the devotees. Render devotional service to the pure devotees. That's a simple process, but highest destination one can get. That's what is mentioned here. And Krishna says, although Krishna previously explained Veda, Dharma, Karma, Yoga, Jnana, all this, above all this, the last instruction stand above all. If the devotee has faith in the strength of this order, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities. Because you see, throughout the 18 chapters, Krishna is talking so many wonderful things, of course. But finally, the real instruction Krishna telling is that always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. And I promise you that you will come back to me without fail. Without fail, Krishna is telling. So it's a very very special word. Krishna says, I promise without fail you're coming to me. Such an assurance Krishna is giving. So we should we can take up that to our heart and try to follow. Yes, as long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened its taste for devotion service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of Vedic injunctions. So if we are not, following devotional service, we have not awakened our taste for Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, then what happened? One has to follow the regulative principle. See, that's why Bhakti Yoga is topmost. So it is better that we take shelter of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, which is actually, who is telling this? Prahlad Maharaj is telling his father, Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu is asking, what is, what did you study? Just like any parents, when the child comes back from the school, okay, what did you study today? Similarly, Hiranyakashipu was quite, anxious to know how Prahlad is making progress in his school. So he's asking, what did you study in the school? What do you think is the best of the education that you have? Then immediately the little Prahlad is telling, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. He's telling about the 9 process of devotional service, and that is considered as the topmost. And Hiranyakashipu was so furious. Oh my God, he is calling his teacher Sanda. What are you teaching to my son? I want you to teach him how to become a better demon, and you are teaching him how to become a devotee. Come on, interesting, isn't it? And then Sanda Namarka says, no, we did not teach anything. Your son is naturally a devotee. What can we do? Because he heard everything from, in his mother's womb, so he's naturally a devotee. But then, Prahlad Maharaj is making a very great statement there. He's telling that, how one can become a pure devotee, or how one can become a devotee unless one takes shelter of a pure devotee, because he is actually telling about Narada Muni. Because Narada Muni instructed me, I got this opportunity. So unless one gets a shelter of a pure devotee, so he's telling to Hiranyakashipu, you can't, indirectly, you cannot understand, my dear father, because you have not taken shelter of any pure devotees. So that is a 9 process of devotional service we have to take shelter of, starting from Shravanam, which is hearing. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendent loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsequent activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotion service. So, Shraddha means confidence, firm faith. Firm faith. That means what? Many times we get this doubt. Oh, I am doing service. I am in the process of devotional service. Is this so correct? Or am I really using my time? All these kind of things other things all will be satisfied with, everyone will be satisfied. Scriptures say that if one is performing pure devotional service, or very sincerely rendering devotional service to the Lord, that means then he has no even obligation to render, other responsibilities. I'm talking about pure devotees. They are freed from all other responsibilities, because we have responsibilities to others, like forefathers, and we have responsibility for all the devatas, and then we are to other living entities. Like that, we have many obligations, because once we take birth in this material world, to Mother Earth, to the devatas, to the ancestors, to like that, we have so many obligations to fulfill. But if one takes to the service of the Lord sincerely and completely gives his heart, in the devotion service of the Lord, then he's freed from all these obligations. And if one has faith that by doing this, everything is fulfilled, that faith is favorable for discharge of devotion service. So that is what is mentioned here. And just as by watering the root of a tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs, and by supplying food to the stomach, where it nourishes the life, where one satisfies all senses. Similarly, by worshipping Krishna, one automatically satisfies all the devatas. So, pouring water nourishes a tree, right? And when we eat, the food, the food goes to the stomach, but from that it nourishes the entire body. Similarly, by worshipping the Lord, automatically everyone becomes satisfied. By rendering, by making Krishna happy, everyone, just like this 2 examples Srila Prabhupada is giving. So similarly, by taking shelter of Krishna, by worshipping Krishna, all the devatas, it is like a kingdom. The king is happy, and all the ministers, everybody will be happy. So that is the thing. So there is some classification of devotees mentioned based on the faith. A very important point we are going to talk about. What is that? Let's see the classification. Bhakti Adhikari is a faithful devotee who is a truly eligible candidate for the loving service of the Lord. According to one's faith, one is classified as a topmost devotee, an intermediate devotee, or an inferior devotee. We can understand where we stand by analyzing all this. What kind of a devotee we are, we can understand about ourselves. Let's see what is mentioned. Oh, sorry. Uttama Adhikari. The first one is a topmost devotee. A topmost devotee is called Uttama Adhikari. Who is a Uttama Adhikari? The characteristics is given. One who is expert in logic, argument, and scriptures, and who has firm faith, Dhrida Shraddha in Krishna, is a topmost devotee. He can deliver the whole world. So what are the important 2 characteristics here mentioned is, he is well versed in scriptures. Number 2, he has such a firm faith in Krishna. Okay, so he is a topmost devotee. And what can this devotee do? This devotee is a devotee we are talking about. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarvasiddhi. This devotee is even momentary association, even 1/11th of a second of this devotee can purify, can uplift us instantly. That is the power of this devotee. His mere presence is enough, can purify the entire world. So this is a Uttama Adhikari. Who is the next? he's a topmost devotee. Okay, who is the next person? Intermediate devotee, Madhyama Adhikari. One who is not very expert in scriptural arguments, but has firm faith, is a second class devotee. He is also most fortunate. So second class devotee characteristics, the first class is well versed in scriptures and he is very good in defeating an argument. Yeah, who is that? The topmost one, the Uttama Adhikari. But Madhyama Adhikari, he is not expert. Say, for example, if someone is coming and arguing in the sense is putting a thing, oh, what Krishna has done this, or some argument. This person may not be able to defeat the argument, but he has firm faith in the Lord. So he is a second class devotee. Okay, let's see who is the third class. So third class is called Kanishta Adhikari. One whose faith is soft and pliable, Komal Shraddha. That means faith is very, very shaky faith. If someone tells, the faith will, oh, maybe, this is not correct, maybe. Okay, the faith goes down. And then when you associate with someone who is talking very nice, the faith becomes thick and thin, goes between that. And is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. What the assurance given is, his faith is very, very komal, very, very soft in the sense, very tender, and he has no knowledge of the scriptures. Okay, both the characteristics is out, but the hope is that if he continues this process of devotional service, then he can become a first-class devotee. Okay, so we know the topmost, Madhyama, Uttama. Uttama is topmost in scriptures, well-versed in scriptures, strong faith. Madhyama, not well-versed, he cannot defeat all argument all the time, but he has firm faith. Kanishta, not well-versed in scriptures, faith is also very, very tender, but has potential if he follows the process. Okay, so that is based on faith. And devotees based on attachment. And okay, there are again three classes. Devotees based on the attachment and love for Krishna. We have three classes of devotees. We will see that. Uttama Bhakta, a person advanced in devotional service within everything and sees within everything the soul of soul, Shri Krishna as the cause of all causes, and understand that all things are situated in him. You can see here, Pandita Samadarshinaha. So a Uttama Adhikari, how he sees Krishna. See, he's so much loving Krishna. In every living entity, he's only seeing Krishna. How amazing, no? He's not only seeing the Lord in the temple. He's seeing the Lord everywhere in this world. Even in an animal, even in a human being, even in any object. Because he's seeing that, the Paramatma in everyone's heart. The Lord, in everyone's heart. That's why he's not making discrimination. Oh, he's a learned scholar. He's a dog. He's a Brahmana. He's this. No, he sees everyone equally. So he sees the soul of the soul, that is Krishna, in everyone's heart. Pandita Samadarshana. So Uttama Adhikari. Okay, Madhyama Adhikari shows, what does he do? He makes a slight discrimination. But what kind of a discrimination? In a very good way, he's doing discrimination. That means 4 things he's doing. He loves the Lord. He shows love to the Supreme Lord, Prema. Friendly to all the devotees, Maitri. He is very friendly to all the devotees. He is very merciful to the ignorant people, Kripa. He neglects those who are envious of the devotional service, Upeksha. Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Okay, Prema to the Lord, Maitri, friendship to the devotees, Kripa to all the conditioned ignorant souls, and neglects Upeksha. That means he keeps a distance from the person, to the envious people. This is Madhyama. Okay, Kanishta, what is a Prakrita Bhakta? Materialistic, that is Kanishta. What is a Kanishta devotee does? He worships a deity following the principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family. So he worships a deity, doesn't show proper respect to advanced devotees. He worships a deity, okay, but he is not showing respect to the devotees. Does not study Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. He is on the material platform, although he's trying to advance in Bhakti. He's a Bhakta Praya, neophyte, or Bhakta Basa, little enlightened by Vaishnava. He knows a little philosophy, but he's not very advanced. This is called a Kanishta devotee or a Prakrita Bhakta. So, something to know. One time, I'll quickly say this. One time, Srila Prabhupada went to one person's house, I think, and there, somebody said, Prabhupada, you please, he said, he went and told, the servant went and told Srila Prabhupada has come. And then that person said, tell him that, I am worshipping the deity and I will come later. Then later, of course, he met it. And then Prabhupada said that, when generally, a Kanishta is the one who actually only focuses, even if a devotee comes, a pure devotee comes, a saintly person comes, he doesn't know how to respect and render service for him. How Krishna will be pleased when a sadhu, his pure devotee is coming and standing and he tells you, wait, and I am worshipping. Will Krishna accept his offerings? That is a Kanishta mentality. But whereas a Madhyama can give the due respect, and Uttama is even top class. Yeah. So we are almost ending here. So we can understand where we stand and how we can raise ourselves. The purpose of all this to see where we stand now, but we don't have to become hopeless. When I read that, I was thinking, oh my God, perfect Kanishta platform. So, but there is a hope. It is mentioned that if we follow this process sincerely, we can raise ourselves to the Uttamadhikari. Further analysis of the 3 categories of devotees. What is that? We will see. What are the other characteristics mentioned? Kanishta is, he believes that only love of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good, but he may not know its basis or how one can become a perfect devotee. Sometimes he has attraction for karma, jnana, or yoga. Okay, bhakti is okay, but I will go with this process. I will go this line. I will go that line. I will hear from them. I will go, all process I will follow. Not sticking to one thing. He may fall down by associating with non-devotees due to lack of firm faith. Because he don't have faith, he hears from everybody. And sometimes he hears from people who are not having faith in the Lord and he falls down. When he is free of mixed devotional activity, he becomes a second-class devotee. When he becomes expert in logic and can refer to the Shastras, he becomes a first-class devotee. The hope is given, so that we can also follow that how we can also become, from this stage, we can raise ourselves up. Okay, Madhyama, he has firm faith in Krishna consciousness, but cannot support it with Shastric reference. He can gradually become a first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with first-class devotees. He becomes a first-class devotee when he feels an intimate relationship with all living entities, seeing them as part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, Uttama Adhikari, no possibility of fall down, even though he may mix with non-devotees to pray. See how powerful. Uttama Adhikari is someone, he will never fall down. Maya can never touch him, even if he mixes with all kind of people who are not, devotees, or even who are other, who leads an other kind of life. He has great conviction and faith. Like Srila Prabhupada, he went to many, many places and people were trying to, it's completely a different, scenario surrounded by the hippies and all kind of people. But who influenced whom? Srila Prabhupada influenced others to become devotees. That is the power of a pure devotee. He never gets influenced, but he influences everyone. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he was surrounded by demons, but he made all the demons, demonic classmates in the path of devotional service. So that's the power of Uttamadhikari. Okay, we are done today. So the point is that how we can also raise ourselves, from our Kanishta platform to Madhyama to Uttama platform. So that's a takeaway. If we stick to the process of devotional service, especially catching the dhoti of the pure devotees, shelter of pure Vaishnavas, and render service, then we can also get that mercy. Jai. Okay, over to Ranjanimai Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for nicely explaining the different types of devotees and making us aware where we are standing and where we have to go. So, yeah, now the time for the quiz now. So, I need your help, Mataji, to just move the slide. So, now question 1 starts from here. Which of the following is the correct way to attend pure devotional service according to the given statements? So, there are 5 statements has been mentioned over here. Mataji explaining in the beginning. So, Jai, Haribol. So yes, the correct answer is by taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of pure devotee. And the devotees who have given the right answers, first is Aprupa Krishna Priya Mataji, Second is Anuradha Achutpriya Mataji. And third is Shruti Mataji. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Now it's question 2 start from here. What is one of the practical aspect of statement taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee of the Lord? Yes, perfectly fine. So I'll just wait for one more second. Yeah, so the correct answer is it is a practice of humility and submission to the spiritual master, like dedicating, surrender our mind, body, and soul to this our spiritual master. So the devotees who have given the right answers first is Anuradha Achutpriya Mataji, second is Kushum Mataji, and third is Shruti Mataji. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Now the question 3 starts from here. Why might a Kanishta Adhikari falls down in their devotional path? Just wait for one more second, and some devotees are still answering. Hari Bol. Yeah. So the correct answer is due to associating with non-devotee and lack of firm faith. The devotees who have given the right answers are Ram Priya Madhav Prabhuji, Anuradha Achut Priya Mataji, and Ammu Naveen Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So now the question 4th starts from here. How can a Madhyama Adhikari become a first class devotee? So there are 4 options mentioned here. So there are various qualities has been mentioned. So I have taken some out of them. And wait for some 5 more seconds. Very bold. Yeah, the right answer is by studying the Shastras and associating with first class devotees. And the devotees who have given the right answer. So first devotee is Aprupa Krishna Priya Mataji. Second is Anuradha Achut Priya Mataji. And third, Shruti Mataji. Hari Bol. And the last question goes from here. Question number 5 start from here. What distinguishes an Uttama Adhikari from Kanishta Adhikari or Madhyama Adhikari? It was the last slide, so pretty easy for the devotees to take. Yeah. So the correct answer is A. Uttama Adhikari has no possibility of falling down even when mixing with the non-devotees to preach due to great conviction in the faith. And the devotees who have given the right answer is first is Kushum Mataji, second is Rama Krishna Prabhu, and third is Shruti Mataji. Hari Bol. Thank you. Thank you so much, devotees, for kindly participation and answering the questions. Yes, Mataji. So we'll go ahead further. Yeah. So now the time for the key point. So which you like most today, or you want to take away, you want to share with the devotees, because sharing is caring. So when we share with the devotees, we also get benefited and other devotees also get benefited. So today Mataji was explaining from like lotus feet how the association like love matra sadhu sangha sarva shastra ka hai. So sarva shastra it's a start from the verse like movement association of the devotees, like how it's great benefit for us. And then later Mataji explaining that like how lotus dust of the lotus feet of the devotees are getting great importance in our life of devotional service. And then later Mataji explaining about the Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama Adhikari and their qualities and how we can gradually move from one step to further step. So many points Mataji explained. So yeah, Kushum Mataji has mentioned importance of associating with pure devotees. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Shruti Mataji has mentioned associating of Uttama Adhikari for progressing in spiritual life. Hari Bol. Yes, that's what we we whenever like great soul like Maharaj, sannyasis, we try to hear the classes them, we try to associate them, try to get their blessing. So very wonderful point, Mataji. Vaishna Kishori Mataji has mentioned Sadhu Sangha is very important for advancement in a spiritual path. Jai Hari Bol Mataji. Kartik Prabhu has mentioned dust of lotus feet of a devotee awakens devotional service of Krishna. Hari Bol Prabhu. Anuradha Mataji has mentioned firm faith in devotional service is possible only by mercy of pure devotee. Second point, different category of devotee based on faith and attachment for Krishna, Rati, Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Ramakrishna Prabhu has mentioned associated with pure devotee so we can change our qualities. Perfectly, yes, Prabhu. So whenever we try to assure, we acquire these qualities from the devotees. Ramashakti Lakshmi Priya Mataji has mentioned serving the devotees of the Lord attracts Krishna's mercy. Very wonderful. Qualities of different types of devotees. Hari Bol. Aruna has mentioned like serving a pure devotee is more important than taking severe austerity. Yeah, perfectly fine, Smata. Thank you for sharing wonderful point. I'll wait for some 10 more seconds. If so Aprupa Krishna Priya Mataji has mentioned keep a strong faith on Krishna to progress on devotional service. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji, for putting such a wonderful point here. Kartik Prabhu has mentioned Shraddha favors to discharge devotional service. Hari Bol. Yeah, thank you so much, devotees, for putting wonderful point and take away more. Yeah, Mataji, we'll go ahead further. So, Vinil Prabhu, you want to pitch in?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances, learn what pronouns. So, benefit of hearing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is from the series Madhya Lila 21.148. Krishna Madhira Ara Mahaprabhu Mukhe Iha Yane Sune She Bhashe Prema Shukhe. Translation. If anyone gets an opportunity to hear about the sweetness of Krishna in this chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he will certainly be eligible to float in the transcendental blissful ocean of love of God. Yeah. So, moving forward for the announcement for this week. So, this Wednesday on the 3rd of May, we have the disappearance day of Sri Jayananda Prabhu. And on Thursday, 4th of May, we have Narasimha Chaturdasi. So, we have celebration in the Soho Temple. And on the 5th of May, there's a few festivals, like important ones are appearance day of Sri Radharamana Devi, Buddha Purnima, appearance day of Lord Buddha, appearance day of Sri Madhavendra Puri, appearance day of Sri Srinivasa Acharya, and disappearance day of Sri Parameshwari Das Thakur. So, Vivek Prabhu, is there any announcement you would like to add, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes. So regarding Narasimha Chaturdasi, so temple has given us few services in cooking and as well as usering and Suryak services. So still I can see many slots are open. So devotee can plan their day and come for a couple of hours in temple if they can. And if someone has taken off, they can. So, and at closing the Gita Gyan registration, so we have kept it more than 45 days. And from 15th of May, we are starting the second batch of this year. So far we have received 400.
Prabhu, your voice is breaking, sorry.
Across all the regions, and if any devotee wants to facilitate the Gita Gyan class, please come forward and help us, because we need minimum 10 to 12 classes to be formed. So it's nice that we can get fresh devotee or whoever are seasoned devotee to take part in this Gita Gyan. And second thing is regarding Pani Hati. So Pani Hati pots are, I think all the dhams festivals are trying to get the Pani Hati pot in bulk, and they are distributing. And roughly, I think it's more than 180 registrations are so far across all the 4 dhams and Gita Gyan. So please start working on your pot. So don't think that, oh, it's 1 month, then we can do in the last. No, don't do that, because there is some selection process also. So by 25th of May, you have to submit all the videos and photos of your design and painting, so that our leaders can select which are eligible for the Soho temple offering. So that's why please start working on it. We have the demo tutorial by Komal Mataji in YouTube. So I have shared it. I will share it again. And do it nicely, whatever recipe and theme you have chosen. And let us know if you need any help on that front. So these are the 2 things, Pani Hati and Gita Gyan, which is upcoming. Hare Krishna.
So Nashima Chaturdasi, we request all the devotees, if you're available in the daytime, come to the temple, Shri Radhalandanishwara, and there is an Abhishek at 4:30 in the temple. Those who cannot after work also can come in the evening. People, it is recommended for devotees fasting until evening, and can come and take part in the other programs in the evening and have prasadam. So it would be very nice. Okay. So let's see the winners now.
Can I share a screen?
Yeah, I'll stop.
Yes, Vinil, you can share the screen now.
Okay. Yeah, Prabhu can make a co-host. Yeah, Vivek Prabhu.
Okay, 1 second.
Is it fine?
Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu, is it possible to make him host, Prabhu? Can you make Vinil Prabhu host?
Yeah, 1 minute, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
So Vinil Prabhu. So he wants to share something. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. He will share the screen,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
I have done it now.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Vinil Prabhu, go ahead, please. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, we can see your screen now. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for participating for today's quiz, and I think it was a pretty easy quiz today. So the winners for today are, from Dwarakadam, we have Anuradha Chittapriya Mataji. And from Mathuradam, we've got 2nd place, and we have and the 3rd place was conquered by Jagannath Dham today, and that is Kusumataji. Haribol. So Jagannath Dwarkadams have received 5 Gaura Nakshatras today. Mathuradam has 3 Gaura Nakshatras today, and Jagannath Dham acquired 1 Gaura Nakshatra today. Haribol.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol to all the devotees. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay, let's take darshan of Lord Jagannath today. So thank you all for joining. So it's very nice. We have Nashima Chaturdasi. We all can pray to the Lord to remove all the obstacles on the path of our devotional life. Just give me a second.
Mataji, one question, is it okay?
Yeah, please.
Mataji, like initially in the when the class started, when Krishna told to Arjuna, no need of reading scriptures and Vedas, but if we want to become Uttama, we need to know about the scriptures and everything. Why that, Mataji?
Yeah, nice point, Prabhu. I mean, the point is that it's not just that alone determines one becoming, a pure devotee, or one can attract the attention of Krishna. Because you see, sometimes what happens, Krishna says also to, emphasizes on studying of scriptures. That's why he spoke about transcendental knowledge, isn't it? But the essence is, as Krishna says, from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. In that shloka, what is that verse? A very nice verse.
Matta smritir jnana
Yeah. Sarvasya chaham prati sannivishto mattak smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedaisha sarvair aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. Krishna says, from, I am to be known in the Vedas. So it is not about not reading scriptures, but if someone understands the essence that, the Lord, He's ultimate shelter, and He's my master eternally, and I'm eternally His servant and my sambandha, and I have to render devotional service to Him. And by that, I can revive my dormant love for Him. If one understands that, then perfect studying scriptures. But if studying scriptures, if one is actually, kind of having pride, proud, oh, I know all the Vedas, I am a scholarly person, I know this many, this thing. If someone goes to that, platform of a jnani, and, kinds of becomes proud and arrogant of his learning, then that's where it is not favorable for devotional life. Does it make sense, Prabhu?
Yeah, Mataji, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yes, so we'll have darshan, and but otherwise it is very important to read scriptures also, because without reading scriptures one cannot even understand whom should we take shelter of, because by now we are reading scriptures, that's why we understand lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi, right? Otherwise we won't know. But the point is that by learning, one should actually become humble, understand his insignificant position, and understand the superior position of the Lord and his merciful nature of the Lord, and surrender to him. So if that happens, then that is very favorable. But if one just keep on speculating, oh, who is supreme, and just simply, studies one shastra after one shastra just to, fulfill his intellectual appetite, that is not considered as favorable. So that's their main essence. So that's a very wonderful question, Prabhu. I'm just trying to, kind of open.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mataji.
he will show now, Darshan. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice question. So we all have to now read more scripture, read more books. What Srila Prabhupada has given for all of us, 80 volumes of books. Prabhupada has given us. By reading that, that is also a way of taking shelter of a pure devotee. Now we are saying association of pure devotee. By reading books, we can take association of Srila Prabhupada, who is a pure devotee. So it is, it's nice that Nashinga Chaturdasi onwards, we can pray, I should become very committed in my reading scriptures, so that I can take association of Srila Prabhupada. And then not only through, in books, but also in other sense, when we get to an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas, then we will physically also serve them, serving through Vani and serving physically whenever possible. Yeah, thank you. Ki Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Hare Krishna. Shri Gauritai ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai. I go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So today's Ekadasi, so Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani, they all have, got their dress changed, and also was an Abhishek, and we could see the devotees have done such wonderful garlands, and many devotees were involved in, making offerings for the Lord, bathing the Lord, massaging the Lord. These are all very special, doing Kirtan for the Lord. So wonderful. Very nice. So that's why Ekadasi, we can grab the opportunity. So many devotees were here today and they're all getting special blessings. Hari Bol. Thank you so much, devotees. So we look forward to see you next week. Thank you for all your wonderful participation. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Haribol.
Hare
Haribol. Jai Baldev.
Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna.